standing on $5 million of real money.
Beast Games, the largest TV show in television history.
And competing for this $5 million are these 2,000 contestants.
$5 million, 40 world records broken, and a ton of controversy. And I still cannot believe that I got to be a part of episode 0. It actually feels like a fever dream. So you and I, we're gonna go through it all. The goods, the bads, the uglies. Let's go through everything. I'm so excited. I've been waiting so long to tell you guys about this experience. So I think a great place to start is for us to talk about the casting process. But while we do that, I'm also gonna go shopping for ingredients so that I can make you guys exactly what we ate during the filming of Beast Games. People ask me all the time how I even got on Beast Games. I saw Mr. Beast talking to Colin and Samir about it, and so as soon as I heard about that, I looked to see if Mr. Beast had a casting page. And when I saw Mr. Beast's casting Instagram post about the application being available, I applied right away. So the application itself was like 50 questions, and they were like weird questions too. Like they were asking if you could swim, they asked if you would be willing to go to outer space, willing to be buried alive. They also had you send in a video audition, and the video had to be about a minute long. So I made sure that my dogs were in it just to give it a little bit of personality. The very next day, somebody from casting called me. She told me that she was gonna send me like a ton of paperwork to fill out, and all I had to do is pass a background check and then I'd be good to go. So I did all that, I filled out my background check, I submitted everything and then a week before they were supposed to fly out, I got an email that said congratulations, and I was so excited. No other information, by the way. I actually didn't even get my flight information until the day before I was supposed to leave. I'm a planner, so that was so stressful for me. A lot of people wonder if I had to pay anything out of pocket. The answer is no. They paid for everything. They paid for your flight, they paid for your hotel, they paid for your transportation from the airport to the hotel, which mine was the Luxor. When they had us check in for the games, they gave us these wristbands, and these were super important. If you lost it or if you took it off, you were eliminated. At this point, we were sitting and standing around for a very, very long time, waiting to get fitted for our shirts and to give them our underwear bag. People have a lot of questions about the underwear situation, and the answer is yes. They asked us to put our underwear, socks, bras, everything in a little bag so that they could take it when they were fitting us for our jerseys. I think it had been like 7 or 8 hours before I actually got checked into my hotel room, and there were a few rules that they really wanted us to follow. Do not leave your room or you will be eliminated. And unfortunately, some people couldn't follow that simple of a rule because there was actually some contestants that were found at the pool and they eliminated them right then and there. They gave us some money for food but told us that we couldn't leave our room and that we had to order room service, but that rule was quickly lifted when we all crashed the room service server. Thankfully, I had gotten some phone numbers from some of the girls that I was standing in line with, and we were kind of just texting and speculating what the first games would be, but I spent a lot of time just watching movies because I was in my hotel room by myself for like 2 nights. It wasn't too bad though.
I'm not really too hungry, but I don't want to like not eat anything because like who knows when the next time we're gonna eat is and what they're gonna be feeding us tomorrow. We know nothing.
On Thursday at like 3 a.m. we got this email that told us to be in the lobby with our trash bags on at 10 a.m. The next morning I quickly packed up my stuff, put on my trash bag.
You guys want to see my fit?
And headed down to the elevator, which made me feel super ridiculous. I finally made it to the area where the rest of the trash people were. So we're sitting there sweating in the lobby of the Luxor because it's 100 degrees. It's the hottest time of the year in Las Vegas. Then the bus finally came to pick us up, and then they took us to the Rio. We found our first ingredient. Hey, I got a question. Yeah. Where's the quinoa? Where's the oatmeal in this place? Oh God. I don't normally shop at Walmart, so I don't know where anything is. All right, I think we have all the ingredients that we need. So let's get cooking. Why do I live here? We got the goods. So we were staged at the Rio for hours in our trash bags, by the way. They told us we were gonna get food there, but they ended up not having enough for everybody. And then eventually we got on buses to go to Allegiant Stadium. But I want you to guess what we did for our first 6 hours at Allegiant Stadiums. Go ahead, put it in the comments. What do you think we did? We sat around and we waited. But there's a twist because at around 8 o'clock, they gave us our first meal. Oatmeal and a single hard-boiled egg. They also gave us some raw carrots and celery, which I hate vegetables, so we're I just didn't even buy some for this. They served us this multiple times, so I did learn a quick trick to make this more bearable. So here's a tip. If you're ever in a Mr. Beast video and he gives you oatmeal, just ask them for a Feastables bar. I like to put mine in my shirt to warm it up a little bit. But once it's nice and warm, what you can do, put it in your oatmeal. It's still bad, but it's a lot better. So a few hours after we ate, we were finally brought into the stadium to film the first scene. And it was actually pretty epic watching everybody come from all four corners of the stadium running out into the field. Before we dive into the real good stuff, I just wanted to say that I realized that you had 2,000 other options of videos just like this one. So I just wanted to say thank you for choosing me. So let's dive into it. Jimmy shot that intro a few times, but then it was finally time for our first challenge, which was to bring that giant ball all the way up to the ceiling. Another question that I get a lot is, did we get to pick our teams? Well, the answer is kinda. This process was super unorganizing and there was a lot of pushing and shoving to make sure that you got the color that you wanted. I was just super thankful that my friend ended up grabbing 2 of the orange jerseys. That way I could be on the same team as her because I was way too short to push and grab through that swarm of people. And there was just way too many people on the rope. So I thought the best thing for me to do was to be a runner. When we started pulling, like you see here, there was some people who tripped and fallen on each other. And so what I was doing was running up, trying to pull anybody out from under so that they wouldn't get trampled. Our team ended up winning the first game and it was actually so epic the way that they had the lighting and stuff in there. Everybody was going crazy. There's a lot of rumors that I've been hearing about this game that I can't really speak to because I didn't see them myself, like the rope being tangled around that girl's neck. I did not see that happen, so I can't speak to that. But now it was time to say goodbye to the red team, and at this point we're all exhausted and hangry, but we finally got our second meal, which was a piece of chicken and half-cooked quinoa. Gordon Ramsay would have been so upset with Mr. Beast because
what is that?
oh my god. The only thing we had to add flavor to our chicken were those little, you know, salt and pepper packets that come with your fork and knife. But I was so hungry, I didn't really care. Only to cut into it and to find...
Damn, that's a shame.
It was just a little pink. I still ate it though, because, you know, I was hungry. After we got done with eating, there was a ton of producers and stuff waiting to give us some supplies. Let me get mine, I gotta show you, I kept it. Okay. They gave us these sleeping bags and a baggie of necessities, which consists of a hairbrush, a toothbrush and toothpaste, a hair tie. And this was my favorite. This is what we're supposed to use for showers. These little deodorant wipes. Let me just say, people were not smelling great. So we settled in for the night or the morning, and it was like a giant sleepover for a bunch of strangers. And just our sleeping bag on the hard stadium floor. Oh, also they didn't turn off the lights and the sun was starting to come up. So they gave us, they gave us something else. These sleeping masks. I was able to get a couple hours of sleep though. The next day we wake up and they start distributing those underwear bags that you remember from earlier. And I still didn't get mine until the second day. Let me get in, Bob. We sat around. I can't even get in. I keep sliding on the floor. We sat around laying on the floor, talking to each other all day long. They did feed us twice, but then finally they started setting up the second challenge, which was the briefcase challenge. And this time lapse that you see right here, that took so long for them to set up. We were told that some were safe, some were eliminated, and they were gonna show us a key exactly where the safe and eliminated ones were. Those spaces in between were not that big. I saw a collision problem right away, so I was not gonna go to any of the corners. I was gonna go to one of the longer edges and like kind of stay in the middle. The buzzer went and I swear I blinked and was there. Hand on briefcase, ready to go. I knew I was safe. I had kind of talked to the people around me and we had discussed which ones we were going to go for, and I was just hoping and praying that none of them were gonna screw me over. I did see a ton of people get trampled. There was a lot of nasty people playing. They played this game dirty. You guys, this game went on for so long. It took so long because they had to set up in between every single one. But finally when it ended at like 4 in the morning. They gave us another serving of the chicken and quinoa rice combination, whatever it was. But like people at this point were getting really hungry, so they would take 2. And unfortunately when I got to the food table, there was none left. So I didn't get to eat this meal. All I wanted to do anyway was sleep, so it was fine. So I went back to the stadium floor. Me and my friends rolled out our, you know, our sleeping bags, and we went to sleep. Hey, Hop. You're on my sleeping bag, dude. There was one guy, he was super smart because, so he had found like a little thing of pads and like He slept on it like this. That was such a genius idea. Why didn't I think of it? We woke up abruptly to a producer screaming at us, telling us to get up, to pack up our stuff, and to make our way off the field because they were gonna serve us our breakfast, which again, oatmeal and a hard-boiled egg. I didn't have any medications that I checked in. There was one time I did have a really, really bad headache, probably from not drinking enough, probably from not eating enough. So I went to go see if I could get some ibuprofen, and they were not very organized there. As somebody who has worked in the healthcare field, I know how important it is to have this station under control. All day again, we mostly just hung around, tried to relax, catch up on some sleep, get to know the people around us. I had some really, really good conversations with people, and they really helped me work through some of the things that I was going through. Also, it really helped to not have our phones at all. I feel like I got to disconnect to the world and really start to connect with myself. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm very thankful for this experience for giving me that. So finally, hours had gone by and they started setting up the third challenge. Capture the flag. And when they set this up, they told us way too much information about the game. Like, one of the producers literally told us to wait as long as possible because there's always flags left over. And I was like, why would you say that? You gave out so many rules. So the rules for this game, once you pass the red line and if you don't get a flag, you're eliminated. Seems simple enough, right? Not when you have 1,400 people gunning for it. And as you can see, like, it started getting a little bit dangerous. I was part of the early crew that were kind of talking to each other, like coming up with plans to try to get at each other flags, and I am so mad at myself for trusting the people around me. Like, that is one mistake that I made that I will never make again. It comes my turn. I'm ready to go. I call out my flag number. I am sitting there. Let's do this. Somebody a lot taller than me comes next to me, is ready to race with me like this. The buzzer blows. They boom, hit me in the face with their elbow. I'm literally running across the red line and I'm like, ah! But I keep going. Stole my flag, and I am so mad because I did end up getting a concussion from that. I took a photo of how swollen my face was after, and it was no joke. So right when I got off stage, I asked for ice immediately, but then they walked us over to do an exit interview, and I was like, I got hit in the face. And a producer forgot about me, but then I asked another one, and he got it for me right away. There's a lot of people crying. There's a lot more people with far worse injuries. I saw cuts, I saw bruises. Definitely some people with some sprained ankles. I didn't get checked out until I got home. Like, the next couple days that I spent in my hotel room, I was absolutely miserable. And when I got home, I was diagnosed with a concussion and COVID. So no wonder I felt like trash. But then eventually we got on buses to go back to our hotel. Oh my goodness, and this was a mess. When we get there, our luggage isn't in the same places. They moved it around. And you know the most infuriating part? When I got all my stuff, one of the producers came and said, can you take your shirt off, please? We need those. I didn't even get to keep my shirt. Bro, since it was super late, there was not a ton of hotel staff to help us out and get us checked into our rooms. I did go to the bar and ask for a glass of water, and the bartender was super sweet. He was like, you don't look very well, like, try to get some rest. The reason why I knew that there was something wrong with me was because when I shut my hotel room door and I stood there, dude, the entire world felt like it was like wiggling. I was like, something's not right. However, they did give us an extra $100 for food and stuff like that. So we could do whatever we wanted to at this point. And sadly, that is the end of my Beast Games experience. There are some days that I am still like super salty, but would I do it again? I would 100% go back again. Yeah, absolutely. I had a lot of fun despite the concussion, despite the food being bad. Like, I made really good friendships and I'm very thankful for that. But if I ever do something like this again, no more Mrs. Nice Lady. Mr. Beast, if you ever want to put somebody in a box for a year, me and Hopper will do it. Oh, also I forgot to mention, if you have any extra questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I would love to answer them, connect with you guys. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And if you like the vibe, make sure you subscribe.